Hey guys, Bear with Vegas Airsoft. Today we're going to be talking about an important topic, weapon-mounted flashlights. What the difference between spot and flood is, and what the roles they play with the different types of modes. And we're going to be comparing both Surefire, Streamlight, and our newest sponsor, Olight. You guys stay tuned. They sent me an amazing weapon light. We're going to be putting it through its paces. I'm going to be explaining all the performance and all the function to it. And at the end of the video, you guys will be able to pick yourself up one with my discount code. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So today's sponsor is going to be Olight and the new PLX dual beam system. This is going to be a pistol-mounted flashlight unit. It's going to have both a spot and a floodlight when it comes to this unit. They also sent me a pretty wicked patch, which I'm going to be throwing this on my kit for sure. But one of the things that we're going to be discussing is the different light types, Surefire, Streamlight, and Olight. Typically with Surefire and Streamlight, you have to pick whether it's a flood or a spotlight type of unit for your weapon-mounted flashlight. But this does both. And I'm going to be explaining the benefits in a home defense scenario, why it's important to have the different types of utility and how it is that I move through the space. Also using the meta glasses for you guys to be able to see how it is that I clear my space and how each light performs differently and why Olight reigns superior. You guys are going to be able to pick up a PLX for your own with my content creator code here on the screen, and I'm also going to include it in the description. So let's go ahead and unbox this and compare the different weapon mounted lights. Alrighty guys, so as you can see here, we have the Olight PLX. Again, that really awesome patch that they sent me. This is my Smith & Wesson MMP9. It's got the Holosun 507C red dot sight on it. It's one of my duty weapons that I carry on a day in, day out. That's what this Olight is going to be going on. And then you have my Staccato C2 that's got the TLR-1 HL Streamlight tack light on it, which we're going to be comparing this. This is more of a floodlight style. And then we have my TTI Combat Master with the Surefire X300. This is definitely much more of a spot variant. So we're going to be comparing the performance of all three of these weapon lights and all three of these weapon systems. So let's go ahead and get the Olight unboxed. All right, guys, so we've got the Olight out of the box. This is everything that it comes with. So this is the new PLX dual beam system. Look at that. The two different floodlights, and then you have your spotlight there, I believe is the configuration. Very simple and easy to activate and turn on. This, I believe, is going to be your adjustment switch to be able to change the style of light and how it activates. And this, like I said, is going to be going on my duty weapon. One of the things that I love about this is just how modular and how compact the light is. It's got all the different variations for different setups, like for Glock, Smith & Wesson, SIG, CZ, all the different brands and stuff like that. And I love just how low profile it looks on the pistol as well. It's very compact, and one of the things that I noticed on the Olight website is that it's compatible with so many different duty style holsters. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed on the gun, and let's start working through the specifics. All right, guys, so now you can see I'm using the Surefire X300U, and the one thing that this does have an advantage on is it's got a forward push press on the actual light itself. But again, this is much more a spotlight style weapon light. So as you can see here, that forward push, I can activate the weapon light just by a push. I can put a constant on, or the same way on the left side of the actual light itself. Having a spot, it's much more concentrated and centralized direct beam of light. If I want to focus on something in particular, I don't have as much splash over here. As you see, the light is very much focused in this direction. So that is the All right, guys, so next is going to be the Streamlight TLR-1 HL. This is much more of a floodlight system. So as you can see here, it still has its concentrated hot spot there for the actual light itself, but there's much more splash in the room. As you can see, there's much more outside illumination. It allows me to observe things in my periphery. The downside about the activation of this light is you have a semi-constant switch here, and you can activate the strobing function, or you can do a constant, but it does not have the forward push. But again, that is the floodlight. So now let's move on to the Olight. All right, guys, so finally we have the MMP core, and it's got the Olight PLX. So again, guys, it has the forward assist. This is much more of the floodlight See how much more splash there is when the light is introduced in my workspace? It allows me to have a periphery. It does have that forward activated switch where I can do it as a temporary or I can do a constant. You can activate the different power modes by double tapping the actual button here. And then if I need to switch to a spotlight, boom, look at that white hot spot that it has on the weapon light. So if I need to isolate something in particular and put a whole bunch of light in one particular space, Olight's got it covered. And two, I can switch back and forth as I'm controlling the space on what type of white light that I want on the target, which as a security professional, if I'm going into a room clearing situation or a home defense situation, I want to be able to change the amount of light that I am using to identify my targets and PID correctly any type of threats, and being able to shut it off in a moment's notice, use the darkness to my benefit, kick the light on, kick to a flood, and boom. Now I've got a much more broad area of light revealment. So PLX, so far, you guys are on top, and I am so impressed with how this is going to help me with my work. I've got my PLX on it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to treat like there's a bad guy here. Now, the cool thing is with having the PLX, I've got a very strong floodlight system. It allows me to strong point at any point in my apartment and be able to figure out what exactly it is that I'm seeing. And if I need to, transition the spotlight, push past the threshold of the door, and proceed to do some type of search behavior using the spotlight, or using the spotlight. And then also, if I say, you know what, I want a little bit more light when I go into this room, I'm going to pop on the floodlight, come into the room, and conduct my search. Eliminate the threat, come back out and push, making sure I'm clearing the thresholds of the door, and having that push to activate switch. It allows me to come around the corner. And then also too, I can utilize the low light setting on this as well, so I'm not washing out my red dot to clear areas. Boom, I hear a threat. I'm going to angle the spotlight at the threat. I'm going to take up a strong point position in the bathroom. I'm going to move forward, and then I can shut this light off using the push press on the actual light. It allows me to search. But one thing you're going to notice is there is definitely not very much flood to be able to see the periphery of the areas. If I'm coming into a room, it's very much wherever that light is pointed, that is where that light is going to be at. So again, coming back through, doing the same thing we did with the other, using the push light to cut the corner, move through the spaces and everything like that, moving to a constant, and then clearing the threshold of the door, moving. It does not have as much light performance as the PLX. Last but not least, I have the Surefire, same thing, the strong point position. I'm going to use a temporary, activation with that lever on the left-hand side of the light. I'm going to punch and drive through the threshold of the door, move through the interior of the department here, and again, having much more flood makes much more sense for me coming into a room because I can see so much more of the room rather than a constant light. So I'm going to kick this thing on, and again, the downside is when clearing into spaces, I don't have that forward push. So it really doesn't allow me to lock my grip in the same way, but I can drive into the room and I have a bunch of ambient light to be able to search and clear if absolutely need be.
Alrighty guys, so you've seen all three lights performance in their showcase here in my apartment. Granted, it's still daylight outside, but we're going to get some nighttime clips for you guys to be able to see the splash distance, the actual throw. But one of the things that I can tell you is that with the PLX, with the ambidextrous controls, it's extremely easy to maintain my grip for my duty weapon. I love that it is modular and it fits right into my Alien Gear Rapid Force 3 duty holster. One of the things that I found with these other lights is when you shop for your duty holster, whether it be through Safariland or whether it be through Alien Gear, whether it be through Blackhawk, whoever it may be, you always have to tailor it towards your light. They're always going to give you options for Streamlight, Surefire, but Olight comes in and it will fit any duty holster. It'll fit any duty weapon as well, full size, subcompact, anything like that of the sort. And one of the things that I love is I don't have to go to the gun store anymore. I don't have to buy any more of those obnoxious CR123 batteries, from Amazon or the gun store or anything like that. And I also love the glass doesn't extend past the actual muzzle of the firearm. With my duty firearm, as you can see, it's actually recessed behind where the muzzle is on the firearm, which is going to prevent the buildup of any carbon. And that is the same case for the Streamlight TLR-1 HL. You can see how far that extends past. This is a staccato C2, and carbon just builds up on the top of the light, on the actual glass of the light as well. They all have their benefits, they all have their downsides. Again, with Streamlight having more of a floodlight capacity versus Surefire having more of a spotlight capacity, Olight bridges the gap and really brings performance to the forefront. I love that it's a USB-C rechargeable, it's very fast charging, very consistent. The white is a crisp, clean, bright white light as opposed to a halogen, which is what I've noticed with these other ones. The hot spots are more concentrated yellow. This is definitely a more concentrated white. This is something that I'm going to recommend to my coworkers, as well as my family and my friends for their home defense solutions. It'll fit on a subcompact, it'll fit on a full size, and having utility on your firearm and understanding what its function is extremely important. Having a red dot system, being able to utilize that for nighttime shooting, quick target acquisition, having suppressor high sights with tritium night sights on it. So that way, in case your dot goes down, you have the ability to still co-witness through your red dot. And that leads me to why it's so important to have a proper weapons light for your duty weapon or your home defense weapon, because God forbid this accessory goes down and you're relying upon iron sights. You want to have a modular, compact, easy to use, easy to function, highly reliable weapon light to be able to defend your home at night. So Olight, thank you so much for sending me this PLX. I'm so impressed at the performance of it. Everything that you guys advertise and market on the box is exactly what it's supposed to be and more. I'm going to be putting some of those nighttime clips a little bit later when I have the chance to record them as far as the distance and the throw, but this truly is a 1200 lumen light. And again, guys, thank you so much to Olight, and thank you guys for your consistent viewership. I encourage you to go and pick up the Olight PLX. I'm going to throw the code again up on the screen, and they're going to be in the description as well. Thank you guys so much again for watching this video, and this is Bear with Vegas Airsoft. Make sure you keep your home safe, make sure you're practicing proper firearm safety, and make sure that your tools suit the job that you're going to work for. Have a good night.